Okay, on this little consultancy here we have a little bit larger block of land, 1200 square metres, a little bit over a quarter of an acre. We have a boundary, again just a straightforward rectangle, and a square onto the street as usual. Older house, but we're not quite on solar aspect. North's over here. That's our sun. So the arc of our sun is east on this side and west on this side. So an arc across like this, across the block. An older style house of the suburbs. Wooden house just off the ground. Veranda out the back. And a wraparound veranda on the north to western side. Footpath coming straight in, and a driveway going right up the side, around the back to an old wooden garage. It's a wooden garage at the back, and an assortment of sheds and outbuildings linking up to the veranda. There's some large trees. One's a mango that's just been pruned by an arborist, so it's like a tall coppice, been reduced in size, and a large mango next door on the neighbour's block of land. There's one or two trees around of feature. There's a poinciana, other large trees just off the block, a lemon tree right in the middle of the lawn, some small vegetable gardens and raised beds tucked away out of sight, a large ice cream bean just off the block, other trees on the neighbours surrounded. There's a cypress, a thuya in the front garden, and one or two stumps of other cypress that have been cut. Some sort of very basic gardens that aren't much gardened. They're actually not a lot going on. And then a Brazil cherry, cherry guava just here, and a garden bed that's been exposed to the sun by the pruning of the mango. Then a footpath coming into the back of the house, and that's about it. It's a pretty open plan. We have a bit of shade here coming from the large mango next door, mango tree, and a smaller mango tree here which has been pruned by the owner. With this sun arc, there's an ideal situation to put in a food forest through here. Understory under there's a poinciana, large featured legume tree. Encompass the lemon, take out the vegetable garden, and move this into a sort of arc around the back garden. Probably join into the mango there. That as a fruit tree arc, and open to the sun. We then put in a contour vegetable garden, main annual food production there. We go back into shade trees under the neighbour's mango. That's quite an ideal site, and it's quite a large area. And we'd have our double row production beds again. A single row around the outside. And so we've got this annual garden production area. Annual garden crops. And food forest. Whole mixture of fruit trees that will grow in this region. Then the next area that's quite good is stepping down the block, really close into the veranda. There's a possibility of putting nice shaded fruit trees in here, and under the mango, another sort of solar arc, and our garden beds across here on the contour patterning. That one's actually bordered by the house, the footpath and the driveway. The one behind's bordered by the driveway, the garage and the food forest itself. So this one's quite small and intimate and gives you that arc. That's a repeated arc at the back. And then as we go down next to the house, there's all kinds of plantings that can be put in there right next to the driveway, and it is a little bit dry. The thermal mass of the driveway keeps it dry, but at the front, if you're brave enough, there's a possibility of putting a really exposed garden right out on the front of the block so everybody can see it. Our client's an acupuncturist, and if his clients were coming in and seeing a really nice productive garden outside the house, it would probably be a very good advert for his practice. So I think we would food forest around the rest of the garden again, so it almost imitates the same pattern, the solar arc here. This could be garden, it doesn't have to be shaded there. It's more important to shade this side, so we'd shade that veranda, we'd shade that side, so the western sun is sort of interrupted, especially in the afternoon in summer. Keep this side a little bit open to make sure the solar gain continues, and then we could put a screen right up next to the driveway, a privacy screen to actually screen off the house, which is very close next door. It's right up against the boundary. On this side we could put in a nice passive shade house, a passive cooling shade house. It's naturally shaded on the south side. You won't easily grow things here unless they're absolutely shade loving, but by putting a shade screen over the top, that's a potential shade house that is also an air conditioning feature for the house, so you can grow seedlings, young garden trees, or a rehabilitation area for house plants so they can go through the shade house and recover. But that's a cold air source potential into the house, so cool to cold air can be dropped into the house. So with that shaded area and this buffered western sun, you could really improve the temperature in this house and make it quite considerably cooler in summer, and then you just block off those vents in winter. So that's the basic theme of a design here. We could actually come into the shade and plant in behind these sheds. Shade loving species like coffee would grow well, or 5-corner fruit. Any of the understory fruit trees would even grow right in the back here. So we've got a theme of arcing the tallest food forest right in the back, southern side, away from the sun on the shadiest side, and the shorter, more Mediterranean species in the curve of the arc going towards the sun. So area 1, 1 annual, 2 or 3, or all of them, and you'd have full self-sufficiency on an urban block of land. In modern times, that's the sort of garden that will be appreciated as a valuable asset to a house. And with 1,200 square metres, there's no problem with a married couple being self-sufficient in all their annual vegetables, all their herbs, all the medicinal plants, and most of their fruit in there. If we were to put a chicken pen here, the only option for poultry or small animals that the client gave us was chickens. The front would be a bit too extreme to put them right at the front. It's a little bit tight in the middle section, so the ideal spot will be right at the back here somewhere, either in there or down in there, one of these areas here in this back corner. And then they could, with the appropriate fencing, they could get to free range in that back food forest and benefit from the free ranging in the food forest, but also benefit the food forest by that free ranging. And we could put extra prunings in here, which they process into valuable organic matter that's been fertilised by their manures and de-seeded by their feeding. So another good design. Be a great design. Love to do this one.